playing the saxophone was when I was in high school. I used to hang out in the band room, and I remember talking with the band instructor, the teacher, that I always had a desire to play the saxophone since 5th grade. When I was in 5th grade, I met a guy named Ochuko Egbikwaje, and he invited me to a talent show where he played the saxophone, and he played Pink Panther, and it was so amazing. I mean, he was a little guy, and the saxophone was nearly as big as he was, but he just played it flawlessly, and it was brilliant. And ever since then, I just fell in love with the sound of the saxophone. And so by the time I got to high school, I finally got an opportunity to start playing, and so I signed up for band, and the band teacher began to try me out on various different instruments, and I knew what I wanted to play, but she insisted that I play, the tuba and the trombone. She said, "You look like a trombone guy." I'm like, "No, I don't play trombone." And I was like, "What is that? What is a trombone?" And so she introduced me to the trombone, and I played that, and I didn't like it. And then she had me try the flute, and I felt like, well, flute's not really my thing either. So can we just move on? I'd like to try the saxophone now. And finally, she let me play the saxophone, and the rest was history from there. I stuck with it and played it for a couple of years in high school, and then my grades kind of faltered a little bit, and I just couldn't afford it, and I never owned a saxophone of my own. So yeah, that was my first time playing, and I played for a couple of years, and learned a few songs and things, and yeah. Before I ever had an interest in music, the first instrument I've probably tried to pick up was the violin, and that didn't go over so well. I played that for about, 6 months maybe. I was in the 4th grade, and I just didn't have good enough grades, and my parents certainly didn't like the sound of it screeching in the house. So yeah, that ended real quick, and then during the time, I was in choir a lot, and I sang a lot. And during the time of that, I didn't play any instrument until I got into high school. And then when I got into high school, that's when I started playing the saxophone. But there was a time between then and now where I never owned a saxophone until now. And between that time and now, I played a little guitar because I wanted to know music, and so I played a little guitar, and I like to dabble with playing like a recorder or a flute because it was more similar to the saxophone. But the only reason I had an interest in playing the guitar was so that I could pick up some music knowledge and apply it to the saxophone later on in life whenever that was that I was able to get one. And finally I was able to make that happen. So it was a real blessing. There's something interesting about a wind instrument as opposed to drums or a guitar, because I feel more spiritually connected, because it's something coming from your diaphragm, from within, and you're breathing into this instrument and playing it, and it's something so soulful with your wind. And I don't know, I value that over playing the guitar. I play guitar and I love playing guitar, but I love the saxophone so much more because it's just so much a part of me and a part of just what I've always wanted to do. So now that I have my own saxophone, a lot of times I like to go and hang out under the bridge at night and play my saxophone and practice there, and it's really nice. Sometimes the train comes by and it's a little loud and drowns out my sax, but I don't care. I keep playing and it's fun. And a lot of times I have people come by and visit, throw a few bucks in my container, in my case. And that's always nice to get a little extra cash, you know. For doing what you love, it's always good to get paid. I really enjoy coming out here and playing. For me, like I was saying before, the saxophone is very much a soulful instrument. It's a place where I can commune with God and feel close to the Lord, and that's where with the breath of life, He gave us life, and with the breath you give life to music, and it's just such a beautiful instrument. And when I'm feeling down or having a bad day, it's always nice to go down under the bridge and just play some music, and when you don't have anyone to encourage you, you got to encourage yourself, and there's no better way to do that than to play some music or to sing to yourself or anything like that. That's always helpful for me. The first tune I learned to play was probably Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace is usually the first tune I learned on most things. I particularly like that song. And I would have to say the next song was I learned to play What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. I really like jazz a lot, and so I learned to play that. And I also played, these are songs that I learned during high school. I also learned to play We Wish You a Merry Christmas, which I had the privilege of opening our winter vaudeville at our high school. During that time I was in theater and I was doing drama classes, and I had to come up with a vaudeville show to do for the winter vaudeville, and I was running out of time, so our drama instructor saw me playing the saxophone and practicing outside, so he insisted that I would open the vaudeville show with my saxophone, and so I was overjoyed and loved to do it, and I did it, and it was amazing.
Is your family musical?
My family isn't particularly musical. I come from an artistic family. My mother was an artist, visual artist. She drew, very good artist. She drew very good pictures and things like that. But my father did. He played guitar, and he was pretty good at that. So yeah, that's probably the extent of the musical background in my family. So.
Which famous musicians do you admire, and why?
For me, famous musicians, particularly when it comes to jazz, I like Richard Elliott. I like his upbeat kind of music. It's very soulful. I like a lot of smooth jazz. I like Coltrane. It's very romantic type of jazz, and just love the sax, and I love the sound of it. I love musicians that play it really well.
And what are your ambitions in the future with playing music?
I do hope to definitely improve on my sax playing. As of right now, I'm kind of just kind of playing to the wind, really. duduk. And I had rented an apartment at one time, and there was a gentleman who was Armenian, and he had he had a bunch of instruments around his house, and he had a little flute made out of wood. It was made out of apricot wood. It's called a duduk. And I said, what is that? And he said, well, it's a duduk. And I said, oh, can I try it? And he said, no, very hard to play duduk. And I says, really? And he says, yeah, if you play duduk, I give you. I said, really? And he said, yeah. I said, okay, well, let me try it. And so he gave it to me, and I played it. And he goes, wow, how you learn to play duduk? I says, well, I play a saxophone. It's a lot like a saxophone, so, And so, yeah, that's how I got my first duduk. And since then, I've bought one of my own, and I play with that every now and then. It's very similar basic fingerings as the saxophone. It's just a wooden flute, and it sounds very beautiful. It's a kind of a beautiful depressing sound, a Middle Eastern sound, very beautiful. But that's the other. So I play a little bit of guitar and a little bit of the duduk, and the saxophone is where I really want to master and focus. And a lot of my life, I do a lot of different things, but really, I really have a heart for the saxophone. It's really something I work on. So, anyways, thanks for watching.